Continue to update you here on the war in Israel. There is a lot to unpack, really a lot of news coming within the last 24 hours. So let's go right now out to Tel Aviv. That is where we find Fox News' Jeff Paul joining us here with the latest. And Jeff, this coming just really on the news of a major report on the U.S. Maybe doing sanctions very, very soon on an IDF group.
Yeah, a lot of news happening right now, particularly here in Israel, especially as this country nears its 7th month of war in Gaza. We are learning, that there is this passage of the foreign aid bill, or soon passage of the foreign aid bill passed in the House. That's going to benefit Israel, and officials here in Israel have already put out comments saying they appreciate that upcoming aid bill being passed, hopefully by the Senate on Tuesday, and then signed by the president. But there's also this news of these new sanctions that the U.S. could be imposing on one particular group within the IDF. Now, the U.S. hasn't outright named this group or talked about specifics in terms of these possible sanctions coming up, but the Israeli government already sort of getting out in front of this, calling possible sanctions unfair, especially to come at a time when they are in the middle of a war. Now, this all surrounds an infantry battalion group referred to as Netza Yehuda. They're made up of mostly ultra-Orthodox soldiers. The unit was set up to accommodate very strict religious beliefs of Israel's Orthodox population, a group normally exempt from mandatory military service. That military unit has been criticized for its treatment of Palestinians, namely in the West Bank. Now, the U.S. has even called for a criminal investigation after soldiers from this particular unit were accused of being involved in the death of a 78-year-old Palestinian-American man's death. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said, quote, determinations have been made regarding Israel violating U.S. laws that could prevent military assistance to individuals or units. Blinken said an announcement could be very soon. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the possibility of sanctions the peak of absurdity and a moral low. Now, other than this happening right now, the country's war cabinet is hoping that this decision might not come down. Other than that, the tensions that have been rising increasingly over the past week or so with Israel and Iran, they seem to be sort of at a calm period, at least for now. All of this happening right now as many here within Israel begin their celebration of the Passover holiday, which starts this evening. Back to you.
Yeah, Jeff, there's just so much going on, and tensions continue to rise, just like you said there. Netanyahu, like you addressed, is very concerned about this report, kind of talking about what that would mean as far as continued motivation going into Rafah as well.
Yeah, and the U.S. has come out and said that they don't support any sort of military operation right now in Rafah. And beyond that, the Biden administration has gone as far as saying they want to see more humanitarian aid going into all of Gaza before something like that happens. They also are calling on Israel to come up with a plan to shelter the innocent civilians who live in Gaza from harm's way. So Israel, they have said, in the past that they will be eventually going into Rafah. The U.S. is saying they hope they don't. We'll see. That is something that the War Cabinet will be likely discussing probably after the Passover holiday.
Yeah, so true. Jeff Paul, thank you so much for giving us the latest updates. You and your crew have been doing such a great job of providing the latest updates. So continue to stay safe to you and your crew. We appreciate it.
You got it.